Hello, this is a Brave Knight Mercenary spotlight on Elise. Elise is a 5-star magician. Her story is that she is a succubus and she is very horny for the main character. She likes humans because they overindulge in their desires and freedom, and she finds that attractive somehow. For fellas like me who can't seem to quit fast food and oversleep consistently, perhaps I have a chance. But in reality though, she actually never seduced a man. It's as if all men are debuff immune. Please laugh at that joke. Elise's companion is Andrew. Andrew is Elise's butler and is pretty much fed up with Elise's horny nonsense. I'll briefly go over Elise's skills, gameplay style, and provide some of my opinions on her. I won't be going over the details of her skills, but just the general parts of it. I'll link to Brave Knight Encyclopedia in the video description where you can easily read on her stats and skill values. Elise's first skill is Nullifier. Elise removes all removable buffs from her enemies prior to normal attack. At +9 and above, she also applies buff prohibition for 18 turns. Elise's second skill is Charm. Elise applies Charm onto her enemies prior to normal attack. Charm is an attack interference. At +12 and above, Elise applies Advanced Charm, which is essentially 2 charms stacked on top of each other with some different behaviors. Enemies afflicted with Advanced Charm have their attack boosted by a drastic amount, which can cause them to deal more damage to their own allies or to themselves. If the enemy dies with Advanced Charm on them, Elise also receives a stat enhancement that boosts her defense for a set amount of turns. This stat enhancement is removable. Furthermore, when Advanced Charm is removed or expires, Elise receives a bit of healing based on her max HP. Also, when Advanced Charm has expired or is removed, a second charm is reapplied onto them. The second charm is just a normal charm and does whatever a regular normal charm does. Elise's third skill is Masochism. Elise recovers a portion of her max life prior to being attacked. At +6 and above, Elise also gains permanent incoming damage reduction. Elise's awakening skill is Debuff Immunity. Elise is immune to all debuffs. Elise is a mage designed to inflict various amounts of powerful debuffs onto the enemy. She targets the backline and hits a 3x3 tile. Elise's signature debuff is her Charm Attack Interference. Charm has powerful implications as it causes your opponent to waste their own turns killing themselves. Elise's Charm can even come with an attack buff since it's tied with the charm itself. Only charmed units get the attack buff, so you don't have to worry about Elise boosting the attack of a debuff immune or attack interference immune unit. Elise's charm also comes with another charm on top of it, so even if the first charm is removed by the likes of Raphithia, the second charm still exists. Elise's other skills are meant to help ensure stability and durability. Nullifier and Buff Prohibition are very powerful skills, and being able to apply them for long durations can be detrimental to the enemy team. I'll go over what Elise counters. Elise's charm affects units that are not debuff or attack interference immune, some examples being Jin, Eden, Orphina, and Yuri. Elise's Nullifier and Buff Prohibition with the 3x3 tile can make her decent in dealing with various taunt tanks and other units that rely on buffs. Buff Prohibition is unanimously good and can definitely hurt units like Baltor, Bane, and Kaelin. Elise's Nullifier also works very well against the likes of Belieth, Raphithia, and Galania. I'll go over some Elise counters now. Elise doesn't have a large impact on any unit that has either attack interference immunity or debuff immunity. Many legendary units have debuff immunity, so Elise tends to have a lot of issues dealing with them. While Elise's attack stat is actually decent, it's generally not enough to kill many units, and she has no way to circumvent 100% defense or incoming damage reduction. In some ways, this is fine as she prefers to charm the enemy over killing them. You can also circumvent Elise's double charm by applying Purification twice. Running Serendia and Raphithia in combination can fully cleanse Elise's charm. Not that you ever really need to plan around Elise, because Elise is practically non-existent. You can also just hit her with something like Ludmilla, Seto, Eden, Orphina, and etc. She only has damage reduction and Masochism, and if she does not have her defense buff up, she is fairly fragile. Even with her defense buff, the aforementioned units can work around it. Sola and Michaela can provide their allies attack interference immunity to block out the charm should Elise actually attack. The easiest way to deal with her is just to block her with a debuff immune unit. So some synergies with Elise. Sola comps are probably the only compositions that Elise can fit in without absolutely feeling like dead weight. She also has a set bonus for HP with Julie and Iris. Both of these units are good, but not in regular arena, thus the set bonus isn't really useful. Okay, so for my opinion, Elise was among the first 4 5-star units that received a companion buff, and it did little for Elise's relevancy. She was not good before, and even afterwards she still wasn't. She got better charm mechanics, but the issue was that the relevant units at the time of her rework was Velfern, Mamonir, and Levia among many others. She still didn't really work at the time of her rework. People realized this pretty early and didn't bother to build her up. In retrospect, when I take another look at her skills, she actually has some pretty good utility. AoE nullification and buff prohibition is very nice. The charm is also very cool when it actually works. It's fun to see the enemy's own units kinda eat away at their own form. Speaking of her charm, she does carry a major issue where she actually has decent damage. She can actually kill some units that she may intend to charm instead, such as Christina, Kyria, Ludmilla, Eleanor, and etc. This is especially prevalent when you intend to run solo formations, which is arguably the only formation where Elise can actually work in. You can run her in non-solo compositions for her utility alone, but at that point, you may want to run another mage because other mages are better. Elise is only decent in PvE. She may be able to be used in Guild War if you meticulously plan out your attacks. I saw her rarely used in World Arena a few times as well, but she quickly stops appearing as you climb higher in rank. So the question begs, should you build Elise? And the answer is, just don't. There's a reason she supposedly can't find a man or no lore, and it's probably because they know she's a waste of skill books. Most of the time she just doesn't work, and other times she just doesn't do enough. She even needs plus 12 to achieve her advanced charm. Like, come on. So yeah, Elise really puts the suck in succubus. She has some valuable utility, but she's a lot more trouble than what she's worth. This one's an obvious pass. Thanks for watching my Elise Mercenary Spotlight. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Thank you.